body improved through the advanced technology, fixing organs, going into the body through microscopic tools and do surgeries and things like that, really does not necessarily improve our um, the stress level that we go through. I think the quality of life, well-being, actually, in that respect, really depend on how much um, control, how much understanding we have about our mind. And so that's why I think it's really important to understand this idea. Anyway, that when Buddha talks about, when he thought about this, the mind, as I said the last episode, that we can recognize how the physiological phenomena works through scientific evidence. However, it's very difficult to have a good grasp of the mind, how it works, and where it comes from. As we born, do we get this consciousness to ourselves, and where it comes from? And so these were the questions that always that we don't have answers. And regardless of thinking rather than thinking where it came from, how it began, I think what we need to do is we have to work with what we have. Because if we, every time when we try to go to find uh, the beginning of it, and I think we going to get lost. And Buddha said that this type of understanding, he called it avidya, that there are so many unknown things that in life. And he says that avidjaya pubbā kotina paññāyati, which means that we cannot we can't see where it begins, and we don't see where it's exactly uh, it it began. And so we have to kind of run with what we have. And so I think that's what Buddha did, that Siddhartha, he had a problem right and then he ran with it, and he went to figure out, this is my problem and what I need to work on this. And so that hence that he recognized through living in the moment and learning to breathe. And maybe this seems like a very simple answer, but it's really not that simple. It's actually a lot deeper. And you would be surprised how many people I have to tell every day to take a deep breath. And because the first thing that we forget is to breathe, because every time when something happens in life, we try to run because this is how we have evolved. When when we feel like if something is dangerous, when there is something that exists threatening to us, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be life-threatening thing. It can be anything in life, and then we start to run. And so breathing and being in the moment is, that's why, so crucial, so important. And so Siddhartha, this recognition really has a very um, important uh, importance to that piece of teachings when he said that live in the moment, be mindful. Uh, it really brings us to the moment. Rather than running, we actually stop. And that's so important. And since I just talk about this stop, I remember there is this story that there was a murderer that he actually keep going murdering people. And the story goes that he wanted to make a chain of 1,000 people, a chain of fingers to honor his teacher's advice. And so he was keep going around and killing people. And so he has gotten so tricky with it, and the government even couldn't fought with him or get hold of him. And so Buddha one day and came across with this young man, and this young man thought, okay, this is perfect. I only need the last finger and I'm going to get it from him. And so he started to walk, and this young man started to walk faster and faster and running, and he couldn't get hold of him. And he said, Buddha, then he told Buddha, stop, you're running. And Buddha said, I'm not running. I have stopped running. You're the one who's running. And so this is what we do in life. We just start to run. And so we just, um, our mind goes just 1,000 miles per hour. And Buddha really had learned to um, stop that running and to slow down and breathe, and that brings us to the moment. And so then we can deal with it then. Otherwise we are just kind of going back and forth in life through the with our thinking process. We either run to our experience that we have had in the past, or what's going to happen, our predictions in the future. And so between these two we swing back and forth, and we just completely ignore the fact that we are actually living in the moment. Our actual problem is occurring right now. And so uh, that's the unique thing about in Buddhist teachings. It's about recognizing the the problems that we have right right now, and just to face with it. And what happened in the past is past, it's gone, and of course we can use that as tool to as a learning experience. And then based on that, we shouldn't predict the future, because the next moment can be completely a different one. And so what we have right now is this moment to work with, and when we work with this moment, our future predictions, and it can be a positive one, because we know in the past if we have had a negative experience, and what we our current state is in a result of the past, and we know that negative kind of situation going to bring unhappiness, and hence the um, the understanding of how this works is really important. And so I will continue this conversation to the in the next episode, and I'll see you um, exploring about the mind next week. Thank you very much.